Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, 50 Shades of Black and White, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my almost 20 years of being a patient in therapy, my unethical therapist, my borderline personality disorder, narcissism, schizophrenia, post-traumatic stress disorder, panic attacks, and a plethora of other mental health issues. I only talk as a former patient. I am not a licensed therapist. I don't hold a degree in psychology, so I can only talk about my personal experiences and give you my personal opinions. They are not to be confused with a professional doctor or psychologist, psychiatrist opinions in any way. I only ask in return for your kindness in the comments. Please be kind to me. Please be kind to other people who comment, and always be kind to yourself. We can disagree about anything. We all different people. We have different opinions, but we need to agree on one thing, and that is to be kind. I will not tolerate any other way. So if you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you enjoy these videos, why not subscribe? It's absolutely free. So today I'm going to talk about role reversals with narcissists. Okay. First of all, we've done so much talk about narcissistic personality disorder. You know, they have lack of empathy. They have a grandiose image of themselves, inflated ego. They love bomb you, and then they hit you with all this attention, and then they just pull the rug out from under you and look for a new narcissistic supply. I've gone into all that in other videos. So what I'm going to concentrate on in this video is when they role reversal that happens with narcissists, and how they, insidiously, do that, and how damaging that is to you. Now, first of all, role reversal, all right? That's like, it is abuse. Let me tell you, role reversal is abuse. And I'll give you a fine example of it, like in my childhood. If you are taking care as a child, if you are a child, not an adult, if you are a child under the legal age, and you're taking care of one or two of your parents, say your mother's an alcoholic, and you come home from school, instead of hanging out with your friends or doing your homework, you have to, clean up mommy's vomit, or you have to give mommy her aspirins because she has a big head, or you have to get dinner on because mommy's too drunk and passed out on the couch, or you sit and you listen to all of mommy's problems because mommy has no one else to talk to. That's a role reversal. That's abuse, okay? I want you to know that's abuse. It might not look like your mother is hitting you, swearing at you, yelling at you, or calling you names like stupid. That's emotional abuse, because she's there to take care of you. See, you're not there to take care of her. And when that happens, you might not even see it as abuse, but that's what you call role reversal. And it always, it doesn't, other people other than narcissistic people can do that, use that role reversal. But I've seen it a lot in narcissistic personalities. They do that role reversal. Okay, to the outside world, they're like the best mother. They're like, awesome, Everyone sees them at their best. But behind closed doors, they might not know that, hey, they're passed out on the couch drunk. They do nothing. Their child comes home from school and has to, do the laundry, has to cook the dinner, can't go out with friends, can't even do their homework because they have to do, mommy's passed out on the couch. They bring mommy to the bathroom. They get mommy her aspirin. They listen to mommy. Oh, life is unfair. Oh, your daddy's working late again. Whatever, she's griping about. They sit there. They listen. And that's a role reversal. And that really is emotional abuse. To the outside world, they put on, see, a different mask. Everyone doesn't know. They'll come in their house and they'll say, oh, what a delicious dinner you're cooking, but the daughter cooked that. Oh, you have an immaculate home. You're an awesome wife. But see, it's all a facade because no one really knows what goes on behind closed doors. You're not supposed to be having your child take care of you. You're supposed to take care of your child. Now, I had severe emotional abuse with Dr. James Barbaria, the psychologist who had sex with me for 2 years. He was narcissistic. Now, how this abuse started out was with role reversal in the therapy, okay? Now, everyone has gone to therapy knows that the therapist is supposed to listen to the patient. That's where they're getting all that big money. You know, that's why they have a doctorate degree on the wall and they're getting $200, $250, $300 an hour. Because they're there for you. They're not supposed to be talking about themselves, okay? Well, it started out, he took my insurance. My husband was working at a bookstore, Borders in Newton, and he took that insurance. But then my husband got laid off because Borders went under. There is no Borders now. And he did not take the insurance through the unemployment. I don't know what kind of, they give you really bad insurance, but they have to give you something while you're looking for a job. He did not take that insurance, so he said, you're going to have to pay me out of pocket, you know. And I said, well, my husband's out of work. I don't have a job. You know, we can barely make ends meet. Remember on the last video I told you I had a hawk my diamond, and this is a cubic zirconia right here because, you know, I was that desperate for money. I was hawking everything left and right. And that's also how I got into pornography too, because during COVID, we had no money. My husband had no job. I mean, he's gone a long time without work, and COVID wasn't hiring anyone in the stores because, you know, it's COVID. You can't go anywhere. So that's how I started getting hundreds of dollars every week from doing the pornography. But that's a different story. Well, what I'm saying is that, so because he didn't take my insurance, he goes, the only way you're going to be able to see me now is if you pay me cash. And I said, but, you know, I can't afford $110. Then he said, okay, we'll do a sliding scale, $90. And I said, I can't afford $90 every week. So it went down to $70 a week. That was still a lot of money, you know, when two people aren't working and we have a slew of bills. And if you own a house, you'll know there's the oil, which is a fortune in itself, the electric, the phone bill, you know, the cable bill. We lost cable because we couldn't even afford the cable bill, the food on the table, food, if you go grocery shops, a fortune. So anyway, it was really hurting us. And to add insult to injury, I'm paying him $70 and he starts talking about himself. And what do? I'm an empathic person, you know. I've done this. I'm no longer like that. Let me tell you, okay? Live and learn, you know how they say? When people talk about their problems, like past girlfriends and everything, I'll sit there and I will listen and I will be concerned. And so when he started talking about how his father beat him up and left welts on him, how his mother would go days on end not talking to him, just completely giving him the silent treatments, you know, I felt my heart, you know, ached for him. I felt really bad. But then I'm saying to myself, this is a little wacky here. I'm acting like his psychologist, and I'm the patient paying him the money. Now that's a good deal, right? It's like you go to a prostitute, right? I mentioned this analogy before. You go to a prostitute, you pay her for sex, right? She doesn't pay you for sex, does she? I mean, that would be a role reversal. Okay, if she's paying the customer or telling the customer, oh no, you know what, I don't want your money, or you have I'll pay you. How about that? I'll pay you to have sex with me. I mean, so not only that, but then he was calling me at night and spending hours on the phone with me, and I'm his patient. He shouldn't be talking to me for 3 hours on a Sunday night, telling me all about his problems, and I'm paying him. He was completely narcissistic. And here's the kicker, all right? Here's the kicker. Everyone thought he was this unbelievable doctor who, he was handsome. He had $1 million condo. He had his own business. He worked out of his condo. He had his own practice. He wasn't working for someone else. And they thought he was intelligent. He was funny. He was charming. He used to crack jokes. They thought he was the bomb. They thought, they had no idea how messed up this guy was, and how much he was using and abusing me. He was narcissistic. He was all self-absorbed, all wrapped up in himself, didn't care one iota about me. And I'm paying him. And I'm not talking about my problems anymore. I'm listening to all of his. And now I'm starting to feel guilty because I want someone to listen to me. Then he started making sexual advances on me when I was still his patient. He was making sexual advances on me. So one day I just got fed up and I said, hey, look, you're making out with me in the office. I'm listening to all your troubles. I'm not talking about any of mine. And I'm paying you. Why should I be paying you, the psychologist, when I'm your patient? And why should I be paying you to make out with you in your office and listen to all your problems? I said, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. And that's when he said, okay, you don't have to pay me anymore. I'll take you out to dinner. That's when we started dating and having sex right after that. But that's still unethical, immoral, and abusive. But see that role reversal. And then during all that time, I felt so guilty. This is what happens when you're in that situation. Like if you're the child taking care of alcoholic parents, you feel guilty, because how can you break away from them? They're so dependent on you. Then you feel shame. You feel all these things. You feel it's very hard for someone in that kind of situation, in that role reversal, to get away because they feel, responsible. That's the word, responsible, for the other person. And that's never right. See, with this role reversal, it makes the person feel, the child feel responsible for the parent. The patient feel responsible for the psychologist, for the therapist. I felt responsible. I felt guilty. I felt shamed. I knew he was taking advantage of me. I knew he was narcissistic. And when I talked about it with the other psychologist, Dr. Richard Geist, they both made me feel responsible. They both said that I was responsible for all his patients. I'm not their therapist. They're not paying me. I didn't take an oath, do no harm. But yet, see, the guilt trip you, like the the example of the child taking care of the alcoholic mother. If the child says, Mom, I can't help you with dinner tonight. I got homework. Oh, how am I going to feed your brother? My head is hurting, because I drank a half a bottle of vodka, Daddy and your brother won't have any dinner. Oh, this house is a mess. I can't let him come home and see, they guilt trip you. And then that's how, they were guilt tripping me, saying, oh, if you go to the licensing board, all my patients are going to lose me as a therapist. I will have to abandon. You'll make me abandon all my patients. I didn't make you take your wiener out of your pants, did I? Okay? You see my point? I was just so abused, but the role reversal is like, it's very insidious. You don't really even recognize you're being abused because the person, like I said, they're not physically hurting you. They're not verbally, lashing out at you, calling you stupid. They're not verbally, calling you names. They're acting nice. They're just acting helpless, like, oh, and they're making you feel responsible for something that is all on them, like the parent. It's not the child's responsibility to take care of the parent, but they make the child feel guilty for not doing that. It's not the patient's responsibility for taking care of the therapist, but they both made me feel, Dr. Richard Geist and Dr. James Barbaria, that it was my responsibility. So they guilt trip me. This is one of the worst things. So it can, like, if you grow up with that, then you end up doing that in your adulthood, and it's just it's really it's a horrible experience. Just you feel guilty. You feel like you can't take care of yourself because you're responsible for someone else that you shouldn't be, because there's that power difference. You shouldn't be responsible for this. You should not be responsible for your therapist. You should not be responsible for your parents when you're a child. You should not be responsible for another adult, okay? A friend. You ever have one of those narcissistic friends that try to guilt trip you into, oh, you gotta drive me. I don't have a car. How am I gonna get to my colonoscopy? I won't be able to do. See? Guilt trip? You don't owe anyone anything unless they're your underage children. That's different if they're your underage children, not adult children, okay? You don't owe anyone anything. Think of you, okay? Because a narcissist will ride all over you, that train track on your back. They will go full locomotive steam ahead all over you, okay? And it could be a friend who says, oh, I need a ride. You're not working. I need to go for my mammogram. How am I going to do that? Or, see what I'm saying? I had these kind of friends. Believe me, I had them. My best friend was like that. She did that to another friend. She did, and that other friend got fed up with her. Let me tell you, I've been around so many narcissistic people that, yes. So just remember this. As an adult, you are not responsible for, unless you have underage children, you're not responsible for another adult, okay? You've got to think yourself. Don't let anyone railroad you, okay? Don't let anyone guilt trip you or shame you or make you feel bad for standing up for yourself. You heard it here first on Sandy Wyllie's channel. Please. I've done it too many years and it's taken its toll on me. And I don't want that to happen to you or anyone else.